All right, hi, this is Atticus, and welcome to part 4 of our playthrough of Scenario 2, the Star Warehouse, set here around St. Louis, Missouri. And we have set up a 3-city cluster, St. Louis, Nashville, Memphis. We have a 2-city cluster, Indianapolis, Louisville. Later in this episode, we're going to go out here and set up a 3-city cluster, Columbia, Kansas City, Fayetteville, with the goal of having all of our cities growing all of the time. That's where we want to be. Now, I've got a lot of cleanup to do. There's a couple of things I've noticed. We need to add this passenger line back in. Several of you pointed that out, but that was intentional to leave it off until we had this all done. But we need to get that Memphis passenger line going back to St. Louis. I want to clean up the passenger lines themselves a little bit to make sure they're not behaving badly. And we want to fix some things that happened here at the end of the last episode with this pass-through warehouse here. Don't know how I did this, but I was talking about not using lumber, and of course putting lumber on there. We don't need the veggies because they're already connected to this warehouse or to the station. And when I went in there, what I really want to do was add the corn. So now that should be correct. So we've got grain and veggies and sugar, fruit, milk, and corn, and then we won't be doing lumber necessarily unless we decide to make some big long line from over here or over here. That's all the lumber on the map. So now the corn line here should go to the warehouse and drop off rather than dropping off in Louisville, which is what it's been doing. Now, let's fix these passenger lines. I don't think we're getting what we could out of them. And I think what's happening is I've noticed this, just kind of glancing, watching some strange things. I think these trains, like this guy here, see, here's a perfect example. See how he's leaving and going this way? Well, he's actually trying to go to the West Maintenance. Well, it doesn't make any sense. See, he's leaving West Maintenance, but he's trying to go to West Maintenance. And I think it's very simple. It's because this overly complicated thing here is too complicated. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So I'm going to take out all these waypoints. And then all these extra destinations. And just have it do Kansas City to St. Louis to get and then maintenance, right? And we'd like to move it up, I think, onto this set of tracks up here because they're not as busy. So it'd be very easy for us to say, out of Kansas City, we want you to hit that. And out of St. Louis, we want you to hit that, right? So Kansas City hit 1. St. Louis, out of St. Louis, hit 2. Now it's going to always run up on this set of tracks, which don't appear to be as used. And go get your maintenance, and that's it. That's all we need. Then the one from Columbia, let's make sure it's running correctly. By taking off all this garbage, okay, and just saying, go do your thing and run. Now, what's the matter with this? What in the world? Oh, I didn't commit, I guess. Confirm that. Okay. Where's its line? I don't see a line. Columbia, St. Louis to maintenance. Oh, here, I'm sorry. God. It's over here. And it's working just fine. All right. So good. That one's working. And then the others where we had some interesting stuff. How about you, Fayetteville? Okay. We're going to drop all this stuff. Because if we have the maintenance at 100%, it's going to be a quick maintenance anyway, right? It's just going to go in. It should be a relatively quick maintenance. Let me put it that way. And that looks good. Okay. Now let's do the ones from the other side because I just don't feel like we're getting. There's two things going on. One, I think we had a couple of those messed up, particularly that Kansas City one and the Columbia one, perhaps. And over here, we're getting this increasing distance issue, which we can talk about if we see it as a problem. So let's go out here to the Indian. Well, let's just do it out. We can do it from St. Louis. Never mind. Let's go here. And let's see, we've got Columbia, Fayetteville, Indianapolis. Here we go, Indianapolis. Let's take all this crap off here. Now it was probably okay because it didn't have any waypoints set, so it looks like a clean line. It looks like it just goes here and back. And you can't tell, by the way, if you have some kind of backtracking and it's taking the same track, you can't tell because, well, it just, there's no way to know. The way they show you the routes, all they're showing you is the lines that get used. They're not showing you that this one's getting used 4 times, that kind of thing. All right, so that one looks good. We did Kansas City, Louisville. Let's just take all the crap off it. And let's just see, how busy are these tracks? 4, 16, that's all right, nothing's that busy. Confirm. And now Memphis, the problem there, of course, that one's blown up. We're gonna fix that in a minute. And Nashville, we only have the one train. And it's 47, we're gonna make it 2. Oh, it's 47 days because of all this crap we have going on here. We're just going to make it Nashville to St. Louis and then get maintenance. Now here's one where we will want to have a, when you come out of St. Louis, we're going to want you to hit that one up there. There. And I think that looks good. That looks nice and simple. That will work. And let's just keep it at the one train and confirm the line. And I want to go look at bonds. See if we can get some more money. And yes, we can. Now, Tarek noted that if you go read the hints and tips, it explains the bonds to you. So let's go do that. We'll go to hints and tips. So thank you, Tarek, for pointing this out. Bonds. This up here we already know, but, well, interest is paid quarterly and at the end. And that's why you'll see sometimes when we get to like a quarter in, suddenly our cash will dip. And that's because we're paying off our interest. And even if it goes negative, and the entire bond has to be cashed out at the end of the term. But we can have a total of 3. If your bonds exceed 10% of your company value, you can't issue any more. So that's what we really wanted to know, the 10%. So if we close that and go back to here, and by the way, while we're on this screen, several of you pointed out, I think one of the, in Mission 5, I was wondering where to find the average balance. It's right here, average balance per week plus 311,000. So on average, we're making 311,000 per week right now in our company. And 2% traffic jam seems pretty good, actually. Now, if we look at our company value, we're at 12.2 million. Or I'm sorry, at 12 million, which means that we could do total bonds of 1.2 million, right? 10%. If we go here and look at our bonds, we only have 1.2. We have about 1.2. I think we're just right under the threshold to have more bonds. So we're going to take that money while we can get it. So we'll get that bond opened up. Okay. Oh, and then shoot, I closed that. Let's go here, pick up that train again. We can now look at it and see it's a 12-day route. So let's run another train on it like that. All right, and let's see if we can't pick up our. See if that doesn't help our passenger revenue. And of course, the other thing that'll help us is getting this other line. And I guess while we're thinking of it, let's go ahead and put this line in. I intentionally held off on this because I want this to be done, more or less take its form, right, before we put this back in. So let's try to get as direct a line as we can get within reason to get up here to be able to come into the system, right, to come into the maintenance and into St. Louis. Don't want to mess with that, but I think we could go like this. Don't want any flat crossings. Absolutely no flat crossings. If it's a bit pricey, that's okay. That's actually okay too, but we probably don't need this bridging in the middle. A nice big bridge here. It's a shame it loses its speed. Can we fix that maybe? Where's our... There. Just a tiny shift, and now we keep max. A 6 and a 5, I don't mind at all for a passenger line because it's going to have momentum and speed, and it's not going to even slow down. Did we even notice? All right, so that hooks him back in, and then we can double track him back down. And this is the key. Will it accept the double track? And it will. Hooray. All right, let's give it... like so. Let's put a supply depot out there. And we should see the trains. We should see these guys. Look at that. He's unloading. He had that load just sitting there. And he made a 70. I'm sorry. I think that was less than realistic. We had him shut down for I don't know how long. And he unloaded and made a 77,000. Good deal. Well done. All right. So we got our passenger line fixed. We've got our passenger... These, I think, better. I think they'll run better now. Less likely to have a mistake and just make false runs. So, the other thing, and did we, now I can't remember, did we fix this and talk? I think we did. We fixed this, didn't we? Yeah, okay. We got this fixed. We got our passenger lines, I think, improved. Not the world's biggest deal. And the other thing is, right here, I think we're about to see it. Yes. Right here. See this guy? He's waiting on this one. And that means that if another train comes up here behind him going that way, it's going to just get stuck. So I do like to run full. You don't have to, but I think what we will do is we will make a bigger runway here, right? So it's too short a shunt line. So we will run it down like this. And like so. Be interesting to see what that train does after we make this change. I think he'll reset, but don't know. Oh, he's just going to take some giant way to go. So what we're going to do is oh, wait a minute. Now, what rail line are you? Oh, no. Oh, that other one already disappeared, right? As soon as we made that change, he went away. So this is a train that might have been stuck had we not made that change. So now we're good. Now we've got a longer, and the trick is this: you have to get down here. They're really hard to see, unfortunately, but you have to look for your signals. We got a signal here, And there's another signal here. Now, the other line wasn't long enough to have that second signal, so you couldn't define a block in there that was off the main drag, and therefore the train would just wait out here. Well, now when the train comes down to go in there and wait, he's going to go in here, and he's got all this room up through here to go. And here's where it does a poor job with its signaling. See that there's no signal back here? Why isn't there? Why isn't there a signal back here to define another block? Why isn't there a block between this and this? And again to this. I really miss Jan Jansen, don't you? All right, so that fixes that. So, okay, we've corrected a few potential problems or actual problems, added that back, fixed that. Everything looks pretty good. So let's see where we are. We're trying to get the 10 goods in St. Louis. We need to grow it to 40,000 to make that happen. And it's now growing nicely, 98% fulfillment. And when it hits 40, we'll put something in. We're going to put a steel industry there. That's the target. And connect the iron ore and the coal into that steel mill. So now let's go work on our 3-city cluster since we're pretty happy with... Oh, wait. I think there's one more thing. I don't remember if we fixed this. We did not. Okay. Memphis isn't growing, and the reason is because I've forgotten a line. So we've got, it's going to the warehouse, right? Which is fine. It needs to. But it also, this is the line that manually loaded one that goes over here to that warehouse. That's fine. And this is where, this line is how you get your raw materials back from St. Louis over to Memphis, right? But what we don't have, we've got the line from here to here and here to here. We don't have here to here in our 3-city cluster. So the beer here and the cloth here are not being exchanged, and that needs to be fixed. This would help Memphis and Nashville. In fact, I'm going to start it the other way because Memphis really needs some beer. All right, so here we want to be careful and not ship the canned goods because they're going to our special warehouse eventually, or they could. It's marked for it, so we have to assume that. And then here we don't want to ship clothing because it goes up there. We've already got that set up to run because the clothing goes up here and then it could go anywhere that's needed. Nashville's the only place big enough to need it right this minute. All right, so we'll have a line, freight, Inyo, go like that. It should come out of Nashville and load up with some beer and maybe, well, what else? Looks like beer and beer. Now, the other thing I think we can clean up as well, we have a warehouse here in Nashville, and we really don't need it. We're taking all this stuff to we're taking this stuff to St. Louis, right? And we don't even have lines bringing sugar to here. We don't have a line bringing corn to here. We do have a line bringing the grain just because it's a direct line in order to feed the brewery that's here. We could keep the warehouse and have some grain here and then let the grain go back to Memphis that way if we wanted to. But I think what we're going to do instead is just knock down the warehouse. And we don't need it. And Memphis, and that way Memphis will get its raw materials from over here, which is fine. All right, so I think we just improved everything a fair amount right there. Now let's work over here. At the end of the last episode, we made a purchase. We bought this weaving mills. We bought this weaving mills for a very specific reason, so we can knock it down, okay? And we're going to go out here to this. Now that we're starting to have a little money, I think we'll just buy this outright for $64. Well, that's a deal. All right, then we're going to go out here, and we're going to need a freight station in Kansas City. Oh, you know what we're going to do? I think we're going to go ahead and knock this down. We're going to build a brewery, in Kansas City. So now our 3-city cluster of beer, meat, and cloth. And then we will put a freight station out here. There we go. And we're going to run a line from our grain. We'll only cross this once instead of twice, like so, and into the back of Kansas City here. There we go. And then we'll see if we can get some more money. We're going to want to double track this. That's the wrong side. Double track into here. And then put our switches and our signals. And some supplies, and then we'll set a line from here to here, running full. Okay. Dairy farm near Fayetteville. We could take that. We can't afford it. It's right down here. It's actually going to get in the action here very, very soon, but we can't afford it right now. All right, now let's look at getting our beer meat going, at least part of it. We can go here, and we can go here to here. And we can double track that. Give it switches, signals, supplies. Since I know what's coming, I'm going to put supplies on this end too. Okay. And then we need a line between here and here, freight. And out of Columbia, we do not want to ship the ceramics because they're another item for Huntington's warehouse. All right, so we've got a beer meat line going now here. Now we want to go down here and get our cloth of our 3-city cluster. Now I want to check our buildings. City list buildings. We have 4 immigration offices. The 4 bigger cities we're trying to grow. We'll put one in St. Louis as soon as it hits 30. But we don't have them in Columbia and Fayetteville. But now we're going to start growing those 2 cities. So we need to we definitely want to get an immigration office in Fayetteville. And I thought of that because I want to move up this way and get our freight station up this way, okay? And then we also are going to need one in Columbia. We can put it up there. Okay, there we go. So now we have 6 immigration offices. There's 8 cities. The 2 that don't have it are too small to have one. But again, once he hits 30, he'll get one. Same with Kansas City when it hits 30. All right, now let's go back and think about putting our freight station in Fayetteville. As I said, I want to get it up this way away from this river so that we have enough room to run I'm seeing wood and wool coming across with a bridge. And then I want these to be able to come in and hook in underneath, and also have enough room we could put one supply depot that would service all 3 lines. So let's go up here. Let's just use our little leapfrog. Let's go up here and then up here. And see, we're hitting the end of Fayetteville, but that should be fine right there. So there. Now we've got a station up here. We leapfrogged using the immigration office and the station to get up here with the freight, and that gives us some room down here to work rather than having it stuck down here and having no room at all. So let's see if we can get a line going up like this. Maybe we could just follow along, run along with our passenger line for a bit, and then come up here like so, and then head over to Columbia, double track that back down, and then go. Oh, I didn't build it. I thought I did. There. And then let's go like this and set up our track. Heading over to Kansas City. And like that. Now let's set up signals for all of this. And go down here and make sure we have switches. Beautiful. Now we can set up a line that's going to take meat to Fayetteville and take cloth back. We don't want paper. That's a Huntington warehouse item. And we don't want the ceramics. That's a Huntington warehouse item. Otherwise, take whatever you got. Okay, and then let's get a line going from Kansas City down here to Fayetteville. And again, we don't want to do the paper. Okay. And we got that line. So we got the 3 lines we need. We'll optimize them later. Now we want to have, we've got the grain coming in here. We want it available in our cluster. So we're going to, this 3-city cluster is going to be almost like what you would almost kind of think of as a Railway Empire 2 3-city cluster, because we're going to put a warehouse here and take in the grain, right? We're also, by the way, going to take in veggies, all right? And we're going to go up here and we're going to bring veggies in like this, and up here like this. Out of track 2. All right, and let's set up a line to haul veggies to Kansas City. Track 2 running full. Okay, so we've got the veggies, and then we want to set up these 3 things: the wood, the corn, and the milk, and also, by the way, pick up the wool, which is needed here as well. So let's go. Make sure we get both of them. Plug it in like so. Double track and pull it back. right? Make sure we have gridirons here, and then let's get a supply tower and put it fairly close to this. Okay. Now let's have a line running from here to here. Track 1 running full. We don't really care which one you take. It's a very short line, so it should be able to handle both of them, at least until Fayetteville is quite large. And let's get some more money. Let's look at our research strategy here. Do we have anything back behind us? Doesn't look like it, so we can move ahead. We're going to save up for 300 points and get this maintenance requirements. Then our target is going to be to get out here, get the Brooks Mogul, and get up here and improve our immigration offices, and down here for higher ticket prices, and over here for reliability, and then cheaper engines. That'll be great. All this right in here is quite good. Okay. So let's go down through here and come in. I think I'm going to come in like here. No, that's too low. Up here. The speed, it does not have to be perfect speed coming out of there. Okay, it's a very short line. It'll never have a should never have a problem keeping up. Okay. Give it signals. It picks up supplies. Okay, and one more here with the milk. We'll run it down here, start it as low as we can get it, and like here, and maybe it's probably like right. It's gonna have to go like. Unfortunately, that's come back here. Actually, that'll work right there. Again, the speed doesn't have to be perfect. It's an extremely short line. In fact, such a nice short line. I think this train right here, nah, I don't want to do it. I want to stick with the, I want to do the run full model. So let's go like this. Here, run full. We can use the car and make a little extra money. Wouldn't hurt us. Okay, now we got milk going in. We've got wood and wool. We've got corn. Now what we want is a warehouse here, and on that warehouse we want the milk and the corn and the wood, right? The three things we're bringing in here. So we'll have wood, corn, milk here. We'll have veggies and grain here, and we could use sugar. The sugar's over here. It's a little problematic, but there's not much sugar on the map, but I would like to get some over here and get this going. Okay, so let's do this. This is a freight line right here, and it goes through St. Louis and out like that. I think I would like to have a bypass here. Like that. Okay, let's bypass the St. Louis Raw. And then let's go, we're going to want to come out of Columbia. So why don't we do this? Why don't we just come down like this and hook into that. All right. Then we're going to put a warehouse on Columbia that has sugar. And we're going to set up a line. Now we've got to think about how to do this. Okay. So we want to have a line here. What we'll do is come out of 1, 2, 3. We'll come out of the third platform. And we can just come down here and merge with that guy. That'll give us a long enough shunt line. Actually, in fact, I'd rather have it kind of like that. And come down like this, anchor it, and double track like that. Give it signals, and make sure that the signals, there's actually 2 of them. One, yeah, there's a second one right there, barely. Why? Why isn't there a signal in there in the middle? I don't get the signaling. Okay, I missed the Jan Jansens once again. So we're going to set up a line that goes from here to here. See how it goes? And we're going to tell it to take that bypass we made just for you. Okay. So out of Scott Train, take that one. Out of Columbia, take that one. We want you to run out of track 3 full. I guess we could use a car. And go. All right, so for this setup, we have sugar, corn, lumber, milk, veggies, grain, beer, meat, cloth. That's it. That's what we need. All right, and just a quick check here. We've got all our other. Ooh, I see a little. All right, we need to start lubricating this line. Can't afford it, won't take it. All right. Now let's optimize this a little bit. We need, let's look at beer. Okay, beer, we need 0.8, 0.9, so 1, 2, eventually 3. We're only producing 1.6. We need to produce more beer. Okay, let's save up and get that done. Okay, there's more beer. Now let's look at grain. So we're making 2.8, but we need about 4. So we need to bump this up as well. Okay, 5.6, that should be good. So we're making enough, but if we're making like a 4, we need this line to be at least at like a 10 frequency in order to be able to deliver that fast. And right now it's a 19, so we need another train on that line. Okay, so now our delivery matches our production and our requirement, and the meat will take care of itself because we don't own it, thank goodness. And the cloth will take care of itself because we don't own it. And so that's good. Now let's optimize these lines. I'd like to have the city-to-city lines be a frequency of about 5, or a little slower than 5 would be all right, to get all those products in there and make sure everything's cool. So let's get that Columbia to Fayetteville. It's 15, so let's run 3 trains on that. And then this guy here, Kansas City to Fayetteville, it's a 13. Let's run 3 trains on it. There we go. And then the last one to check would be this guy here, Columbia to Kansas City. It's almost good enough, but we'll put another train and make sure. Okay, so now we've got our city-to-city lines going here. We've got all the products coming in that they need, all the raw materials. We've got the 3 main initial productions. Oh, I was a little slow with this. Shame on me. Let's get that immigration office in there. Shoot. Little goof there. I went a little over in recording episode 4, so now it's being split into episode 4 and 5. So we'll stop right here and then pick this back up in episode 5 a little bit later. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it'll help you become a better player. I hope you'll like, comment, and subscribe, and join us for more Railway Empire 2 videos. Thank you.